Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from MoxyMojo. Thank you for joining me for the start of, well, at least I think it's a start. I might have put some earlier videos in. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll explain in a minute. For the start of Dephemerember 2025. Now, I am very fortunate this year that I have two amazing swap partners. Tanja in Australia, and this is our third year as Dephemerember swap partners, but I also have a new swap partner here in New Zealand, Robyn, who lives in Tauranga, and this is our first year as swap partners, so I'm looking forward to swapping with her and having some really cool different bits and pieces and components to play with. So I'm packing up one of the parcels and sort of putting everything together, and then I'll show you sort of how I look at wrapping them up to send away, to give you some examples of what I'm doing. But also because neither of the ladies has a YouTube channel, and I just want to share what it is that I sent out, and then I will also share what I receive in return. So let's jump in and get started as I pack things up. So the first thing I've done is, if you've seen some of my videos, a while ago I did a video on my lace and ribbon storage using recycled toilet tubes, you know, the rolls out of the middle of the toilet rolls. So I've made a couple of these spools using those, and I'll link that video down below as to how I made them. But if you're keen to find out a refreshed or up-to-date video, then let me know and I can do one of those after Dephemerember. So all I'm going to do is, I've got some like ribbons and I suppose they're ribbons and laces, and I'm just going to put them onto that, keeps them nice and tidy. I like them for storing. And then I've also put into each of the packs some of these black bulb pins, because I love those for like using in junk journals to put, you know, hang things off the end of pages and tags and page tabs. Oops, start on the other side, because yeah, that's my pedantic side, my perfectionist side, wanting to make sure the pins are on the same side. So just wrapping these around. Now these are a couple of just different red, you know, with it being Christmas, I thought nice bright colours, and reminds me of our Putakawa here in New Zealand, our New Zealand Christmas tree. So put those in. One's a really heavy duty sort of lace, and I mean, they're not really laces, but that's what I'll call them. So one's very heavy, quite thick, probably almost maybe half a centimetre thick, and the other one is probably half that, or maybe even only 1.5, 2 at the most mils thick. But they're both lovely and nice and tactile and texture in them, so I've included those. Now next I've got some lace. Now this was actually some lace from my late mother's stash. She was a sewer and creator for as long as I can remember, and when she passed away, she said all that art stuff can go to me, because my sister isn't really creative in that kind of vein. So along with all her art supplies, I got some sewing supplies as well, including some of these laces. So I'm just wanting to share those with my lovely friends, because I mean, I know she's had these laces probably almost as long as I've been alive. Alright. So just wrapping this around, and that way, it makes it nice and tidy in the package for the ladies, but it also means that everything is stored, ready to go, and you can put it straight in your stash. Needs to be over that side, don't I? Yep. Straight in their stashes, and they don't need to do anything to store it. So isn't that nice of me? Being really sweet and organised. You should see that stash of ribbons and laces that I need to stack up of my own. So you know that story of the cobbler who shoes everyone and provides shoes for everyone in the village except for their own son? Yep, that's me. Do as I say and not as I do. Right, so that's the only thing is getting the pins through sometimes. But yeah, that keeps it nice and firm. And then the other one we'll put on is this ribbon, and it is like a measuring tape, which is very cool. Just a printed ribbon. And I know it was scraps and that, but I mean, we don't, here in New Zealand, we don't really get that many vintage items, so to speak, because New Zealand as a country is not that old. We're one of the last countries to be discovered, so our history is only like, well, we were discovered officially in, well, like, we were brought in, discovered in like late 1600s, but not colonised until the 1800s, 1840, and that's when sort of European man came and took over from the indigenous people. So that means our history is quite short compared to, you know, countries like European countries where they've got 5,000-6,000 year plus histories. We just simply don't have that. Right, so there's our second lot of ribbons. Next thing I'm going to do is I've got some of these diamantes. I should stop blathering. And I'm just going to wrap these around. So I've got rainbow ones, and then I've got a longer strip of these pink ones. So again, going to wrap that around just to keep it nice and tidy. And I mean, I've got these in all sorts of colours, but I thought this pink was quite nice, and hopefully both ladies will like it and try it as something different for their junk journals. Whoops, maybe I need to shift that around. Yep. Looks awesome on like the cover of your journal. You can use little wee patches, or add it to drops or charms. Oh, hang on, that's right. Go this way. Or even to, like, if you use it not in your junk journal, looks really lovely wrapped around like a votive jar for like a candle, or even directly around a candle. Stunning. Or a glass for that matter. Right, now, so we've got some rose lace, or it's not really, no, it's not a lace, it's a ribbon. It's quite a wide ribbon. I think it's about 2 inches. Let me just get my 2 inches wide. Yep, 2 inches wide. So that's quite a nice ribbon. And yep, so that's that. We then have is it 2 inches again? Yep, 2 inches, and this is just a ribbon of burlap. So we'll just keep that together. Go that way. Go sideways, Paul, it'll be easier. And here we go. And I mean, I originally was just going to put these pins all just together, and I thought, no, use them to hold all the ribbons together. It makes more sense, Paula. So we've got that. I've also got some swatches or patches of, this is a faux leather, which is really quite pliable, and you can change the colour of it, but I thought that'd be something nice, especially if you've never used it before. I've used it for like buckles on treasure chests and all sorts of things, so we've got that. Right, I've got a couple of fabric tags. Now they have got some adhesive on the back, like foam adhesive, but you could easily pull that off. One of the few truly vintage items I've got, these are cinema tickets, so I've included 5 each. So, and that's 2 and 6, so that shows, I mean, we changed currency here in New Zealand back in 1967, and then $2 to go to the movies. It's now like about $20, I think, to go to the movies. Right, what else have we got? We've got some pearl ribbons, squares. We've got a little flower, and then a slightly different flower. So I thought that'd be quite nice for something different. Now these are something I made myself. I'll just pull them out to show you. So they are made from zips. And then they've got a little wee flower that I've coloured, and so they're flowers. So with a felt on the back, and you can turn them into brooches. They're quite nice, or they're perfect for on like the front of a journal. So we've got those there. I mean, why am I giving you ideas? The ladies' ideas of they can do what they want with them. That's the whole idea. Now, what else have we got? I've got a couple of little wee scraps of coffee dyed muslin. Where's the open it? Where is it? So we've got a darker one and a lighter one. So these both started off as white. Don't know if you can really see the difference there, but in real life they are quite different. I've got some scraps of doilies, so these two haven't been coloured, but I've cut them out of a larger like doily. This one I've coffee dyed, and also some scrap of vintage lace that I've coffee dyed. So they were vintage ones that I found in a opportunity shop here in Auckland. So now I've got, and these I thought were really cool, wallpaper borders I should say. These are vintage, you can see by the colouring on the back of them. So we've got a larger one, and that one is, so just over 6 3/4 or 17.5 centimetres. And then a smaller one, again, yep, vintage, and this one is 10.5 centimetres or 4 1/8 of an inch. So hang on, wrap that around there for now, just to keep them together. And then this was some wallpaper that I found, and you can see it's quite dimensional. Like the difference between the shiny, where are we? The shiny part, oh, now you can't see it. The shiny part here and this matte part is probably maybe 1/2 millimetre to 1 millimetre. So it's, you know, would be really expensive wallpaper. And I found this in an op shop. And I just thought, oh, that might make a really gorgeous journal cover. I mean, not that we're making journal covers or journals, but I just wanted to share a little bit of that. Now, we've got, these are some scraps from some, I bought some saris because I couldn't get any here in New Zealand, any sari ribbons, so I actually bought some Indian saris second hand through an auction site, or might have even been Facebook Marketplace, and they're in various colours, and so I spent absolutely hours tearing them into strips and then pulling off all the excess fluff before I bundled them up. So we've got green, yellow and red. I've got blue with a silver like lyrics thread through it. We've got a hot pink. We've got this one goes from like a burnt orange to this gorgeous rusty colour. And this one is, these ones, those ones there, they were all on the same sari, and they went from the red through to the pink, kind of in that order, plus a little bit of white in there. And so I've got some of them with the multicolours and then some with the individual colours. And then this is from a gorgeous burgundy and forest green with gold sort of lyrics overpainting or thread. So I've got some of those as well. Right. Now in here, and this I'm just going to kind of whiz through quite quickly, I think. So put those over there. So that's the rest of the bulb pins. So I've got now, this is going to go on the outside of a parcel with just a message. It's keep calm and unwrap presents. And this was some embossing powder. And these I made for my Christmas presents one year, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I had some left over, but I just love the way they change colour as you move them. I've got some die. Now these are die cuts. Probably that one shows it best. You can pull off the frame and you're left with little wee die cut sheets of paper. I've got special. We've got some various different journal cards. This was a print, and these are like freebie printables, I think, that I've had in my stash from, and like royalty-free images that I've had for so long, I can't remember how long. These are some stamped butterflies and butterfly wings that I stamped for a project and didn't use. Then I've got some tags that I have coloured and then painted over with a very thin gesso. I've got tags that I have altered, sewing around. This one is a tag with texture paste on it that I haven't used. You can just sit, there you go. It's a clear texture paste, so that'll give the lady something to play with. Then I did some die cutting out of scraps of paint, like jelly prints, and this was alcohol ink. These are book pages. These are some tags I designed using some floral printables from Susan Taylor Brown. I found these, and I don't know where, but they're printables, and so I'm sharing those with the ladies. These are some checkered papers, little journal papers, both sides. I've got them the large and then the small journal cards. These are slide mount pockets, and you can pull out the center images on both sides. Got a couple of little wee sealed envelopes, library card. Now I made these out of scrapbook paper, just little wee mini file folders. I've got some journal cards that I've had for absolute ages. They were from My Mind's Eye 2009, so that says how old they are. A faux maths card. Some like schedules and to-do lists. I hope you can actually see all this. These are some like tickets from, bought those from Temu. Pull apart journal cards. I've got pay envelope, really big pink envelope. I just love the colour because it was different. And then these are like mini card and envelope sets. I've got those in 3 colours. I've got some mini envelopes. These are fold-up envelopes, but I just thought I think they're so cute. Right, look at that little wee slot or lines to write a message on. Then I've got a seed packet. I bought these for my husband for his birthday present, but ended up not using them, so you know they go into the stash. Right, in here we've got, let's have a look. We've got a little wee suede tassel. I've got various charms, clouds, cat in the moon, dragonfly frame, cat on a branch, got cat in a circle with some stars. We've got I know that Robyn is religious and does Bible scrapping. Bible scrapping? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Bible journaling, sorry. So I thought she'd appreciate this charm. And then I also found I had 2025 charms. So I've included one each for the ladies so they can put that in as well. Now, in here, we've got a couple of flat back pearls. Whoops. So they've got the flat back so you can stick them down, but then they're dimensional. So hopefully you can see that. On the other side, I've got some white abalone shells, that's polished shells. We've got, I've got a little like washer that's engraved. I've got some paper clips of various sizes and shapes. Then in here I've got some beads of different colours, some mini buttons that are so small, and some sequins that were actually left over from my first wedding dress, and I absolutely love them. They're like a mother of pearl, aurora kind of colour. Alright, so I thought the ladies might have find those interesting to use. So just put these back in there. Alright, and then in here we've got, now these were some collectibles from our local supermarket here, but I thought they reminded me of flattened bottle tops. So I thought, you know, that was kind of an inspiration, but I like that they are so flat. You can see that they're barely a couple of millimeters flat, so they're not two-dimensional. We've got some mini, these are tiny tags. I've then got somewhere, there they are, some slightly bigger craft tags. I have got some letters for their names, so R and an S for Robyn, and then also R and an S in the Scrabble tiles, and these ones are really flat as well, so I thought they might be easier, or maybe drill through them. I've got some wooden buttons in different colours and styles. Then we have some die cut keys, some die cut, and these are like with very thin wood, so flowers and keys. A mini cotton reel, which I thought would be really cool as a charm. Got my paper clip bases, and these are covered paper clips, so they just slide over. You just slip whatever between the paper clip, and then you can decorate either side. So if anyone wants to know how to do those, just let me know and I can put up a really quick tutorial. And then I've got some various stickers just for something different. Now these are some little labels. I've got eyelets in either end. And then these are some stamped labels that I was just been making using scrap cardboard. You can see there's like just on the back that some of them are printed, some are not. And that is just using my different stamps that I've got. And then I've also done some on scrap calico as well. So I've included just a few of those. And then last but not least, I've got a tag that I made. So these are just the normal shipping size tags. I've painted over in gesso, then put distressing over the top. I put some, actually before I did that, I put some scrap paper book pages on, then did the distressing, painted over the top with the gesso. I then just put a little wee cluster of some film strip, scrap of book paper, a little bit of gauze, and then I've tied together two very dimensional flowers with a little bit of hemp cord, and then I've stamped Dephemerember 2025, which luckily just fit across the top. But yes, so that'll have a little wee message to the two ladies. The other one is a little bit different, the design on the front, but I really love these tags and how they look. Then last but not least, so for Tanja, we agreed that we weren't going to send snacks, but we were going to send snack wrappings or bags or packets, whatever you like to call them. So I have sent those over for Tanja. But for Robyn, now I said to her, did she have any dietary requirements? And she said there's a couple of allergies that she had, but she also has said her allergies include anything that's not natural colouring or natural flavouring. I think I've got that right. So I did some shopping. So we've got some gluten-free pretzels. These are Dutch, I believe. But I thought they sounded quite nice. Oh, no, Israel is from Israel. And for an Australian company. But I thought they sounded quite nice. And that was in the organic area of the supermarket. And then I found Sour Patch Kids with layers, and these are a New Zealand lolly, I think. No artificial colours or flavours, so I thought that would be quite nice. Or no, Australia, New Zealand, made in Australia. And then these are definitely from New Zealand, and these are white chocolate bullets with raspberry licorice in the middle, and these are no artificial colours or flavours. So even though it was a little bit hard for me, because I mean I don't have any dietary restrictions like that, it was a good exercise to see the range that was available here in New Zealand. So I'm really pleased that I got to do that. So Robyn, I hope you enjoy these snacks, and Tanja, I hope you love the packets. So I'll include a little bit of video next on how I've wrapped up Tanja's packages, so that you can see how I've used the packets as packaging. So let me just clear my desk, and then I'll be right back with that. And I nearly forgot, I'm sending each of my lovely swap partners one of the journal guardians that I made last Dephemerember. I had some left over, so I just want to share the love, and they'll be able to have this hanging from a journal and know that they are my scrappy sisters, and I will be forever grateful for having them in my life. So, green for Robyn, and I've sent Tanja a silver one. So, I think they're very cute. So here is a quick run through of how the parcels have turned out for Robyn. So we've got tube wrapped in, this is tissue paper, pattern tissue paper with a book page around it, just a whole vintage book page tied with a baker's twine. I tucked the ends in because this was the rolls of wallpaper, and I tucked some things inside, including the journal guardian, just to give that a bit more protection, and also the mini cotton spool, so that's in there. In here, this is wrapped in tissue again with it's a dictionary, no, it's Pears' encyclopedia, and all I've done is folded the page in half, and that's wrapped over some recycled tissue paper that it's been sitting in the sun somewhere, and the colour has started to bleach out of it, so the pink is all these different colours, which looks kind of cool. At least I think so. So here is the snacks, and what I've done is I've wrapped this in tissue held together with just some washi tape, because we all love washi tape. Then I have folded up just some fabric, like enough for a journal cover that I would normally do, and I think I've done a journal. I can't remember if I've done a journal on this fabric or not, but then I've done like a fold top and bottom, and then done my, instead of doing my crisscross in the middle like this, I've done it with two threads, so one's this corner, one's sort of based on this corner, and that just holds everything together quite nicely. And then I've written a message on the back to Robyn and just kind of tied that in and tucked it under. Then these three parcels are pretty much the same. It's in some of the vintage sewing pattern tissue with book pages around it, and then tied with baker's twine, and then this one's got that keep calm and unwrap presents, and I've just tied that all the way around, and again just a little wee message on the back of that one as well. So they will all be boxed up and put into a parcel. I just wanted to show you how I wrapped up Tanja's parcels, because we agreed that yes, we were going to do our 50 items, give or take, being scraps or components, and then we would do our 3 snacks, but rather than send snacks, we would just send the empty wrappers. So I have actually used my empty wrappers that I've sent, my snacks, as wrapping for the parcels. So we've got some chocolate iced mini donuts. We've got Hershey Kisses. We've got some Haribo sweet and sour beers. And I did this one because it is, I'm the sour one, Tanya's the sweet one. And a little heart there. So I thought that was so cute, and I figured you might be able to use that one. We have Griffin's Toffee Pops, and these are Toffee Pop Minis. And then last but not least is a Amaretti. It was an Italian dessert thingy that we had for Christmas one year, I think. And they had very cool wrappers. And I kept all the wrappers. It's like a printed waxed paper. So I've wrapped up with that as well. So this is what is heading to Tanya, but you've seen everything that's in these parcels, give or take, because there are one or two, there are a few variations between Robyn and Tanya, just little wee things, but roughly that's what I've sent both ladies, or will be sent by the time you get this. Okay, so anyway, I hope you have enjoyed watching what I have sent. I hope you've found a swap partner for yourself, and maybe you have sent each other some goodies. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into our prompts. I can't wait for the 1st of December. Okay, I will see you back in the studio, ready to start on some prompts. Bye for now.